This internet is full of people who don't know what they're talking about, who don't stop talking. This internet is full of people saying things that they can't even prove. They can't even explain why they're saying it. And I try not to make content that's like reactions to stupid people's comments in the comment section or Twitter or Instagram. But if you're a content creator, if your channel is based on stupid things people say on the internet, you will literally have content for the rest of your life. There's that much lunacy. But sometimes you see somebody say something or you hear somebody say something and your reaction is, what the hell are you talking about? But then when you really think about it, they might have a point. Now, one of the greatest groups in hip hop history is the Warlocks, aka the Locks, aka the combination of Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch. Now, I just seen an interview, and I've been watching a bunch of like interviews about like people talking about the 90s. I can't remember. I want to say it might have been Un Rivera. It might have been Un, or it might have been, I want to say it might have been Un or Memphis Bleak, somebody in that 90s scene. And they said something like, when the Locks first came out, the hottest member in the group was Sheek Louch. And I've never heard anybody say that. And I don't really recall that. But what this person was saying was, if you think about it, Sheek Louch was having a lot of standout verses when they were first doing freestyles, and when they were first, even on Money, Power, Respect, a lot of his verses were stood out above a lot of Styles and Jadakiss verses. And if you listen to a lot of Jadakiss verses in the beginning, you can see like he still was developing his voice. Like he didn't have like the whole raspy classic flow. He was still like developing it, because being a musician, your voice is an instrument, and it's an instrument you must fine tune. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Share this video with someone who's into hip hop, real hip hop, and subscribe to this channel. This person, whoever it was, I think it was Un Rivera. Whoever it was, they were saying also, as far as Sheek being the hottest member when they first started, you have to remember he was on like a Get At Me Dog on the DMX It's Dark and Hell Is Hot, which was a big single at the time, a classic DMX record. And you know, a lot of his verses on the Clue tapes, they stood out. Now, I won't say that that's a crazy statement to say Sheek Louch was hotter than Jadakiss and Styles P in the beginning, but you can kind of see what the person meant. Now, of course, personal taste is personal taste, and a lot of people over the years, you know, they always like, I never liked Sheek Louch, or I skip his verses and all that. And I used to be like that too when I was a kid. I'd be like, I like Sheek Louch, like I don't like him. Like, just get the Jadakiss part. But as I got older, I went back and I'm like, Sheek Louch has some of the greatest bars I've ever heard in rap. Oh my God. There was a freestyle. There was a D Block freestyle. It was him and J Hood. It was over the Monday Night Football theme song. And just, oh my God. Like Sheek Louch just has some incredible verses. When we Are the Streets, incredible verses. I don't know why, but it's like when I was a kid, it's like I just didn't want to hear him. But now as I'm older, I enjoy all three of them equally. Now, most people with the Locks, you know, number one is Jadakiss. But I've even seen people over the years saying Styles P has a better catalog than Jadakiss does. And I think that's true. If you look at all Jadakiss versus Styles P, their solo albums, mixtapes, freestyles, features, you can make a strong argument that Styles P has the best catalog of all three. But another one of my favorite songs, and this is a song where I think Sheek Louch might have had the best verse out of the Locks, is in '98 when you had the classic hip hop film Belly. On that great soundtrack, the Locks had a record with the Made Men. Oh, the legendary Benzino, Boston legend. Shout out to Paul Pierce. He pierced Paul Pierce, or one of his people did. But they had a great record on the Belly soundtrack, Made Men and the Locks. And I believe it was called, I want to say it was called Tommy's Theme. Let me check that real quick. I believe it was called Tommy's Theme. And this song, not only was it a great record, great production, great verses, but it might have also had the best Benzino verse ever. That's a big that's a big part of it. Okay, yeah, it was Tommy's theme, and Sheek Louch, to me, he stood out the most on this song. And one of the comments in the video was someone echoing the same sentiments that I had heard from the interview I heard with Lance Rivera or whoever the hell it was. And they said, this person says, before the year 2000, Sheek Louch was the best member of the Lox. Verses like his on the Made Men Tommy's theme and his verse on All About the Benjamins showcases this, in my opinion. Now, All About the Benjamins, the best verse on All About the Benjamins is Biggie. Some people, some people, Lil Kim is the most memorable. The best verse was Biggie. But as far as the Lox, did Sheek Louch have the best verse out of them on All About the Benjamins? I'm simply trying to cop those colossal Picasso's. Willona from Daytona. Since I was young, I want a bone. I mean, he had a tremendous verse. I never really thought about who had the best verse on All About the Benjamins, as far as the Lox members. I never really thought about that. His performance of his verse on the Versus verse Dipset was tremendous. I got to think about that more. The commenter goes on. He says Jadakiss and Styles P ended up surpassing Sheek Louch after We Are the Streets dropped, but early Lox, Sheek was a monster and the best member. Until like recently, I've never thought of that. Was Sheek Louch the best member of the Lox? I guess 96 to 98, 96 to 2000, and then We Are the Streets came out. And then, but now, I said earlier, if you listen to early Jadakiss, he didn't have the whole raspy voice. He was still developing his cadence and flow. He was nice, but he was developing into the legendary Jadakiss. When you get to 2000, We Are the Streets, and they're finally off Bad Boy, that's the album where Jadakiss is like classic Jadakiss voice, classic Jadakiss, monstrous, right there. But I've never really thought of this. Was Sheek Louch the best member of the Lox in the beginning or at any point? And there's another problem with people. There's a difference between what you like and what something is. For example, make a basketball reference. My favorite basketball player is Tracy McGrady. But because he's my favorite, that doesn't mean he's the best. But see, a lot of people, they can't decipher what they like versus what is something objectively. So objectively speaking, was there a time when Sheek Louch was the best Lox member? I can't really say yes or no because I just never remember thinking that. But when they were young, to me, they were all at like the same level. Like when they're doing the freestyles with Mace in 96, 97, they're all like on even playing field. But once you get to We Are the Streets, Jadakiss is clearly ascended as number one. And then, Styles P, I think Styles P around like 02 when he had like Gangster and a Gentleman, when he had Good Times, and he had oh my God, one of the best hip hop songs ever, The Life with Pharoah Monch. When he dropped The Life, I was like, okay, Styles P. And then Sheek Louch, when it came time for like his solo work, he was a great MC, but to me he's kind of more like hardcore underground. Jadakiss and Styles P, they kind of made more like bigger crossover type records, not pop records, but more crossover records. Sheek Louch had like I think After Taxes. I think that came out like during like the Puffy beef when they're trying to get off, when they let the Lox go, that Hot 97 infamous argument with Puffy. I think Sheek Louch, great MC, but he's kind of reminds me of like a Inspector Deck. Like he's great for a verse, but can Sheek Louch really hold his own album by himself? Styles P definitely can. Jadakiss definitely can. But I don't know. I don't know about that. But what are your thoughts on this? Was there ever a time that Sheek Louch was the number one Lox member, especially in the early times before We Are the Streets? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoy my content, if you want to support my channel, if you have a video request, if you want to determine what I talk about next, you can donate to the Cash App and just write in your donation what you want your video to be about. And that's how most of my videos come about, is people donating. And the Cash App is $XDN online. And that is it.